All right, we return with more of the World Class Championship Wrestling Review Series. This is the July 23rd, 1988 edition. Um, some new talent, which surprises me a little bit here. Buddy Roberts officially announces his management of the Samoan SWAT team, the SST. They kind of had formed an alliance a couple of weeks ago, but I guess making it official in an interview is necessary. Bob Bradley and Iceman King Parsons is out next as your first match of the evening/day. Parsons, who is a former world champion at this point, going back down the card to face Bob Bradley doesn't really make sense. Bradley, a guy who really never got as much of a chance as he should have. A lot of arm drags and stuff by Bradley. Hard lariat out of nowhere by good old King Parsons. Parsons, who actually, and I think I mentioned this in an earlier review, which, by the way, there's over 325 of now. Clothesline again by Parsons, but I think if they'd done more to tell the story of why the heel turn with Iceman Parsons takes place, they would have done better. He wins, though, with a butt. Akbar and Iceman address the Von Erichs. Again, Akbar with the same basic tone to his interview. The Von Erichs have been trying to get rid of him forever. There's no real reason for this. Steve Cox, who is relatively new to the area, and Michael Hayes sneak attack Buddy Roberts, as was done to him earlier, and obviously Roberts and I think it's the Hood in the middle of the ring, or an opponent for, actually no, it's one of the Samoans, get bulldogged by Hayes, top rope splashed by Cox, and they kind of have set that feud off. Buddy Roberts, people getting attacked finally by the babyfaces, I think does set something good up here. Jimmy Jack Funk and Tom Jones. Jones, obviously an enhancement talent to make Funk look good. How far have they fallen, though, that the need for a guy like Jimmy Jack Funk to look really good in the territory is present? It strikes me as odd. But anyway, Jimmy Jack Funk and Jones is the squash match you would expect. They must be in a different arena because the camera angle is a little bit different. Funk starts with brawling, gets sent to the outside. Jones manages to keep Funk on his toes for the next several minutes. And it's awkward, it's uncomfortable, but the match does work. Funk basically says that he's not cheating, but he holds the ropes on a modified spinning toe holds. Funk uses a lot of power moves and the like as it relates to the lower body, working over the legs pretty aggressively. Manages to hit a body slam on his adversary. A pickup spinning power slam. More accurately, 1, 2, 3 gets the victory. Steve Simpson once again addresses Tatum in victory, says he wants to finish things once and for all, doesn't really want to follow the rules, doesn't really want to do anything other than get rid of them once and for all. Really basic here. Samu against Mike Moreau. Samu obviously now officially managed by Buddy Roberts. Also, it's there. And it's an interesting little, I guess, side run. Obviously, Buddy is wanting to see his team completely demolish whoever's in front of them. Samu does so with strong strikes against Moreau. Moreau really not a imposing enhancement talent, but he doesn't need to be. They have done a good job of getting the Samoan SWAT team over as major guys. Samoan SWAT team does go from here, I think, to the NWA at the end of the World Class run. I think they're there by 89, so within a year they're there. They have some classic matches over there, which will be fun to cover when I get to the traditional NWA. Hair pull spot in the middle, pretty cool. Buddy Roberts is good to be placed with them if you're going to play the game that the Samoans can't speak English. He is a good rambunctious talker for them. I like the fact of him introducing him to Americanized things, American women drinking alcohol, partying, and the like. It's kind of interesting. Samu with a beautiful top rope headbutt, a diving headbutt for the victory. Then we move to Michael Hayes responding to Buddy Roberts, basically saying that he knew he couldn't trust him. He'll never be able to trust him, and he won't trust him again. I mean, it's pretty, basic here. Hayes wants to finish things up with Roberts. Also mentions putting over Steve Do It To It Cox in the interview process. Then we see the finish of the Kerry Von Erich Kamala match from not too long ago. Kamala hits a couple of splashes, manages to get himself in a negative way. Von Erich hits several of those, what I call Cox back punches. He draws back 1, 2, Kamala out the back door. Meanwhile, Kamala has help from Buddy Roberts and Iceman King Parsons. The match goes into complete chaos. Tatum and Victory address the Simpson brothers. They say this has gone on too long. They're the Wild West Tag Team Champions. They're the World Class Tag Team Champions. They're tired of dealing with this team. I don't necessarily blame them. And then we go to our main event. Once again, the light heavyweight champion of the World Class Wrestling Association, Steve Casey, facing off against the champion Eric Emery, only this time in a steel cage. No hype to the cage, really. So again, they're pulling out all the stops just to keep the territory running, which obviously doesn't end up working in the long run. But 5, 6, 7 minutes of a cage match here. Casey looks good, starts going after Emery for several shots, sends him into the cage. Snapmare, fist drops, really basic stuff by Emery. Emery is Casey hooks the leg, doesn't get what he wants. Nice float over on the sunset flip by Emery though, or by Casey though. They actually lose the camera for a second. Casey tries to get a leg submission, working over the leg of his opponent for several minutes. Emery makes his way back to his feet relatively simply and directly. Hard shot by Eric Emery right into the face of his opponent. Then we see Emery scraping the back, going after the back, basically doing whatever he needs to do. Casey sends his opponent into the steel cage. You would think would be enough to settle things. The referee goes down very close to the end of the match. And with about 2 minutes left, we see Brass Knuckles grabbed by Eric Emery. Emery gets the victory. Both men are busted open through use of the cage, but Emery gets the victory here once again this week. And we move to the end of July in 1988 in World Class in the next audio.